All right, Bushafone, Adolfo, Yamamuna Kwaba Biom, about HITV. So I know there's been a lot of hiccups in there, a lot of back and forth trying to make this work. But said a Tibian or see a timidity, Jubediano, about na yedin common and common, a kama. It is Sabre, may Pesa may invite ya bigger phone, don't be Jubediano. Now, if it ya share a Jubediano, I say, one fan chime, Sena. A choir no and yes na na nke ye pese e call into bo fan chebe na ye make sure say bibia be so kama Mr. Obaso anu ahye na afedi ye koye ni ma no Obaso anu ahye amaye yesrama Obaso anu ahye amaye na afedi ye de dwumede no akoye nim se ne si choir no na na make no mo fan chei wa Obaso sisi bia no share so me home comment to the na afedi I'll post it up into no do us the favors and please share for us. All right, HITV so now me say what abuti sambre mo son for HITV came ma munya na akwa abakese pa e ba dwumede so na me fa akonya isu na me yi e bedwafo ana yi no mabedi dwumede a kire amamo me nema bebre won ma akoso e wo Ghana yabano amanyosemu na it's about time we have to set out and just talk about it. Anything that Arise Ghana Youth show, no, yeah, they bama bobo, just to make sure say everything is being taken care of the easiest and the best way. Yeah, it's also another show, not to say domestic violence in our homes and how you think about it, and then the other not just say we take it from that perspective and that angle. So now answer now. Ebeshe jumede na sino be pese me announcement kakra. Yenya be ma Andrew ewo New Jersey abrochime mu na Andrew send a big shout out ke siepa tantale butele ye pudo da so ema na downfall the young pa Princess Yasantwa or wo Worcester it's a princess so what message na to say Andrew and Eddie Abramo when him say that yeah interface na asasa kakra because of what we speculated and how things were supposed to go, no. So Oba Bushafo Sana Mekan Oba na washe my near call. We have to really make this quick. It's a video radio for the baba na fed the match there. Yeah, well, yeah, Bema, Joe or say Owusu, Ojina Emma MPP, Amanukono, Joe or say Usu Jinama MPP, Amanukono, na Yenya Bema Norbert Bennett. No better so ejinama NDC amaduko ni so hwe soro dom na ho na Joansa ewo na no better so ewo ase ho nom pen na chese yebedi djubedi kese ati say no now it's all about amanyosem to me no in my opinion I feel say MPP and NDC have taken Ghana for a ride for a very long time and it's about time we have them to talk to us in a better way to make sure say then it makes sense and things are going the way it's supposed to go. Into na any no into Sabre no without much ado no mema omo akonya no na fide they share some stuff we need to know and take it from that angle no but mesha asie efi NDC nini so that is a Norbert ben mesha asie efi Norbert so then Norbert to just give us some tidbit on how things are going what he sees about MPP amanuko nim no Norbert one point to say you makwa baba HITV so
Major so and you may I so me de akonye ebe sre etiefo I believe so almost joining quite early almost atsena ahoma so ache hwe nim se ye betimi di dwumade ayede abrom nchia kase so nkoma me flag bearer papa John Dramani Mahama ex-president and no vice they kind from Kwan largest political party in the history of Africa, in the history of Ghana, Afa or Base on your vice presidential candidate and potentially the vice president of the Republic of Ghana come January 2021. Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajimai, Mame Prekope. Nama cheering so na me chair national executives, me national US NDC US chapter executives ne national executives na chia kese nso koma diaspora chair ne yankasa me maame ene ya yenu ba doctor mami aba daddy owo Columbus machi we na ne pk agone form na me ji se ene de offer me ana manifesto mu abobo nsem na yebeka na me de essence me ni je se Ghana for ebetie for the first time manifesto when him say enra mebeda ena menyanti say NDC manifesto akopie Guinness Book of Records mbeso check it
how I don't know tefiva
when him bibi o say ewiase ya wan say opposition party akogina ho last week Monday na ya launch manifesto for the first time in history your opposition your manifesto no yenyam ba amemukran manifesto no astati age. Can you imagine a man nomination for the Guinness Book of Records who said no, it's so much amazing. Say more launching manifesto na a certain political party decided say or mono for the first time in history, they will decide to work with your manifesto. What be that? You can't say Okada launching there and also Yasembe. You come by 2-3 days later. Say stakeholders are in consultation with government. Say mobile launching. Na say enye asem papa about the saying a lot of ministers, both cabinet and non-cabinet ministers, who did say enye de papa enye idea here and tossum risky. Then all of a sudden, 24 hours now, government decides that they will implement that. Not just that, but national service scheme or more licensure exam. When him say, as we speak now, it's been abolished. Now you ask yourself, sir, this makes sense. MPP are so much interested in finding out how we would abolish a year or more double track. No, it could be so be saying because so far, you said two of our own thoughts we took from the Ghanaian public for the first time in history. A political party has been able to go down the grassroots, PK, and they have been able to speak to people from bottom up to listen to their thoughts. And then I'm open. Then I am. Ghana as a country has come to a stage and Papa Muno PK would need what we call a national agenda. Why do I say so? Because to say they are ostati and no now working on party way bar no way, party way bar no way, party way bar no way. And it's like we have thoughtful people, don't get me wrong, we have good-minded people who go and sit in a room and they box it up. No matter what focus here. Then they bring it to the people, expecting that it will change their lives. Because you cannot go and think for me and my household and come and expect, say, those rules and regulations, those plans you have for me, would work in my home. It might work for your home, but it might not work for my home. So for the first time in the history of Ghana, we had a political party who said, no, we've had enough of here for it's Nasia. Or decided said they will go and draft things. We've had it say, every time then it's like, party way back. Now I can't now bro for I can see now we say no, they've had enough of that, PK. Until NDC decided, as thoughtful as NDC was, PK, I said, listen, we would go and speak to the people, the grassroots people, the kayaye, the makala woman, the taxi driver, the trotro driver, the abosio kind spare parts dealer, the doctor, the lawyer, the watches seller on the streets, the shoe shine boy. Ask them, say, catch it. Yeah, but be more than what per se or John Dramani Mahama on your mouth. We picked those thoughts and we decided, say, it is time we change the terrain. It is time we speak the voice of the voiceless. We speak for them and we also do what they want, because governance, it's power from the people, by the people, and back to the people. Share woji a year obi kokromuti December 7th. Na okojine wiaso team 50 ebia no pano on nyase be koko bia be ndi. Obejine wia no so saa na wato na aba ma. Na wokotena ho. Na pick you decide on your timeline when you work, and at the last minute, after 3 months into December, now cut sword. What original?
Not better. You should be one say. Ben, Second Prince, I took a question about this year.
Yes,
okay, no, campaign door to door in 2050. Where one?
Nanado, there's a Second Prince, Miaminia. I would like him to understand so there's a difference between campaigning door to door, and there's a difference between going to the people to come and draft a manifesto for the people. So let's distinguish the two things. Before you go on campaign, you would have presented your manifesto to the people that you're campaigning to, correct? So there are two different things. Let's get that clear understanding. So Nanado, you're door-to-door campaigner. That is what John Dramani Mahama and Auntie Jane Okwajimai, a professor, they actually started their door-to-door before say MPP and started your endorsement or more chicha a jako musika and then Shatawale Musikano. We are not doing that. We are doing door-to-door. That is a whole different thing. The Aye can say NDC decided upon further consultation after the Kwesiboche committee, after looking and delving deep in our defeat, we realized there were things that went down wrong. When he said we didn't lose that election because people voted more for MPP. We lost that election because even our own people decided, they will not go out and vote.
Exactly. So that means you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Thank you. So upon further consultation, we were one of the few parties who decided, listen, you lose the election. Now let's do in-depth analysis. Let's send people on the grassroots and ask them questions. And then a buyer. And after all those consultations, because we realized, the people told us what they want, and that's whereby we have this manifesto.
Okay, that's whereby we have this manifesto. Yenfesi had him say, "Na yenshare adibi one him say." Somebody yamao and a good amount of time for you to speak about the manifesto and how much you wanted to dive deep into it. But yenshare adibi one him say, like I said, I believe say NDC NPP di Ghana nya, and baby yeah okay, no the bema yenya bema jowo so actually na sika kra na afedie or the nchia so ma abusuafo say na we na owia na so ababe kantania wo kan na say ono so bibi one ma also kan editor so no the akato so. And again MPP and the wa be mu ntino, most of the question is going to go for the MPP because we want to make sure say whatever is going on is worth taking care of, because it's about time that we have to realize we have to call a spade and make sure that things are happening the way they're supposed to happen. Now oh
Dabi Dabi a din in a sekeke.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, minia mechia etifu nyina mechia ye party chairperson of by Afrempon mechia James so ono no Cincinnati chairman me MPP communication officer ewa mechia etifu ni host nso so amai akwenya say mba mecheche e manifesto mu na minia no kre wa asem no say 2020 election ya kwa akoto enye about manifesto A and manifesto B. Ghana phone to abanu based on a manifesto. For the first time in the history of Ghana, no, your candidate John Mahama wabedi 4 years, almost 8 years. Or the Mahama John Evans Atamos de Kanwa. Your president and so osanye candidate no so di almost 4 years into your obia track record. So this election is going to be about track record.
For clarity, it's almost 8 years. Obidi 4 years and some months to elections.
Okay.
Almost 8 years.
Okay, what 4 years?
Let's educate the listeners well.
Okay, 4 years. No problem. 4 years. Intino ye kwako based on a track record ye ma o amamu 4 years ago no then I would ye and an add-ons ye dem 2016 then I why. So that's where the argument is going to be. That is why ubetimi akojim amount for hawa omobeka nyina no abe tabulate to send NDC koye no, but for Ghanaians it doesn't concern them. In Ghana for bisa mo say okay also oba obey primary health care free. Okay, now buy no national health insurance na never hon ugu no kra it take 2 weeks and san obi akореnew ne card. Ni card nso abeka nsa after 2 weeks no call hospital ha doctor for no say omonje adinti no omonje because mahama buy no untua premium no emma service providers no inti de bia no mo say omonje inti nipa no ko ha ne asan ginisika ya ginisika wie no ambulance ni ho a de ne beko hospital kese mu se ne yere wo a na ambulance ni ho age so no kope taxi no de nako ya san odi ambulance asan kwa wie no doctor na wo ne o se aban se o se aban tua ne kai nurse ni se aban tua ne kai nti oye picketing ewo Parliament House office of the president annex enunti doctor bia nso ni ho na ne ba ne yere na oda ho no wewu. This is a track record over the last 4 years. NDC buy na no mutia bans no track record ni that doctor wo ho no so nurse wo ho na dumso se waje no enunti bonso mo ye operation na no mo de mobile phone mo de candle energy awo into track record ni into so ba na so be catch ne say oh me ba me primary health care free a onji unni because unim say nanu ya me ma okwanya no nka health system na won kranka ugu no uba na be catch ne say oh me ba university education me to 50% amount no be say on say nenye mahama ya no buy ya nanu ya academic user fee kra na yentua no obuy no se untimi ntua into university for you started to light bill no water bill ne ya wasem no kra na say day student kra day non residential student kra mo ho no omo kra nso mpo etua academic user fee ni because aden I say omo call lecture hall omo use electricity omo use water or cocoa use bathroom or be flashing into utia 500 Ghana cedis wa oda ho utia 900 Ghana cedis nursing training allowance utwemu teacher training allowance utwemu university lecturers your friend research allowance utwemu na wasamba catch ni pa se me ba university metua 50% amount onji uni because when him say ese kwatre kwaso be amount man no wetie ni din na no na o ma okonya then na odi ye okay una ufi ho na wako NDC so ba obe legalize ukada fo sa law na eba ni ukada e mu NDC na mo de sa law ne bae NDC na de sa law ne bae nti so sen twa ho ba na san be ka se o me ba me legalize na nipa na obe kan sama kire no wetie odi but onyi uni okay ufi ho kwa NDC
ya hwa de wanu se yeni ahwefo na edi djubedie no so what I say yeni ahwefo na edi djubedie no ti ehwe bi banu se Ben Seko Prince will say so you don't want to talk about the manifesto then why did you make one?
No, listen.
I like the question.
Say me talk about the manifesto.
Nobet. Me mi chikani adlib. Me nka just sre manenya enyesre. Me mi chikani adlib. We are asking you a question to answer the question, Yanko.
Yeah, make us say I refer to manifesto several times, right? So I refer to manifesto several times.
But you just say you don't want to talk about it though.
No, minka say yen kasa about
manifesto right now.
Manka say yen talk about manifesto. Me say about na ye kumuno. Ghana for ekoto abanu based on track record and not manifesto.
Okay.
And non interest me say minkasa about the manifesto.
Okay,
minkasa about manifesto and coming to on manifesto no one after the other. Okay. So let's get it clear. Ghana for beto abanu based on a track record, with honesty, with integrity. Also obey a corruption, high risk activity. Under your watch, JIDA, SADA, Baz Branding, Smarty, Koto aeroplane umbrella, now the Biasoso. a medical store, Nash. So many kinds of corruption, Ford expedition, Kucha Kwani Achel Ford expedition, Waji. Into track record now, they fight corruption. And yet, into some catch you in say, me fight corruption, and no be sound say, now to one. Then I will under your nose, under your watch, corruption, a skyrocketing, and a bomb. Emma Oko BBC Oko international media maybe say, what the bribe that or say as human being. Nana me expect senka nipa baby say as animal or as what? Okay, and clearly no nipa ni integrity ni ho, only honesty and only leadership skills now they be execute saa de na watch run tin be no. Okay, and whilst we are looking at the message, let's look at the messenger. Messenger now in this case no John Evans Atanos no or buy and then or yeah. Okay, we no fi one more. Minia. And this MPP manifesto had be two more share. Unse Ukraina would do one dance say a 247 or something.
And make a back door. So before you go into that part, right? So that's my problem. MPP, our opposition, right? MPP complained about how many ministers are not NDC for, which was about 88. We complained about it. MPP before complained about it bitterly. Then MPP comes into power. Then MPP for ministers are jumping to 123. So my point is, overcome, you get another MPP person tell you, say your mother also know me a Jumana. What is the big deal? But that's not what we're talking about. Say if Susukruwa di Susuma Unyana, that is what we're supposed to use all the time. So what say Susukruwa and they say a dos one castle Munya Juma.
Okay, maybe. Argument no and a debate no oh yeah no mama ya debate in context okay make me ahwe figures no wahama wo hwe ye free bibi government budget of government machinery and as a buy no machinery no they running the government no sika ahe e no boka wo ho wo say MPP ministers 128 into omodoso meanwhile so ko budget no mu a budget statement na government machinery expenditure ketwa say NDC dey na wo say no mo ye 88 usahino okay that is what we keep telling people say it is not about the numbers now but it's about prudent management because NDC won so what to say maybe no double salary so what is there no okay okay and to say who nipa 88 na wo government machinery expenditure no eso more than times 2 I can look for the figures so be our OTM be able to budget statement for government machinery expenditure component no never compare under NDC 2016 never also the government machinery expenditure no ube say NDC there no so and clearly no it is not about the numbers okay and that's why personally I don't even want to go into the argument of ministers year 5 or year 6 or year 7 or year 8. I don't think say it is even a fruitful discussion we have to. Rather, no, we should look at because make me have a NIPA 5 and so now my form director of this, director of that, director of this, year ministers, but year Juma basically as ministers and we pay them. Okay, Sana na NDC here. MPP can call them ministers and they will still be working and they will still pay them. It is an argument of minister to do and it doesn't hold. Hold
on. I think so now you owe Ghanaians an apology when you say that some now because a minister say doesn't hold now because it's the taxpayers' money and you need your ministers. And the citizens are complaining, say ministers and that's a ministerial positions. What also
citizen no one when they complain NDC for and I say binum. Because Ghana for no money say Jogati as road rail minister or Boejuma railway and gu Ghana no money say Jogati baso or yensa womudie or ye kumase die okota kradia isikano or ye hodie Ghana for ministers as offer obi to say Dambochi na wetimi aye minister of regional integration wetimi about no what ministers what regions na why executing the mandate Ghana for ministry no bubobi na me more omunim so nipa na the man wa ye adwuma right Nti sa Ghana fo no nim se nipa na ye adwuma no. Adwuma na nipa na ye no e na hu hia wo. Okay? Ofa minister bi to say Ministry of Aviation. Na omo hwe se ampa Ghana airline na egu na ene and Nanado Minister of Aviation ti yetimi signing new airline contract a ebema Ghana Airways. I started in yeah friend Ghana Airways, a friend another entity me refidino. Juma. I mean name one after the other, name all the ministers and Ghanaians are going to measure them.
Joe Mr. Beba, okay, dear Mr. Asher for Mr. Obano Ashama boy. Obason Ashama, me pesa Ashaphobia, we also be a Mr. Craft 5 for Bremy, Obaso Penwa Shama, not to say, they ditch bedin, because we are Ghana yet chrono with. Ya when the chichi chrono no. Ya my MPP 4 NDC 4 and my nyen Bukata now chrono and konye bibi a one. And then ye be call Ghana December, ya man for call Ghana, man for start to call September, ya middle can say. And you have to get to Ghana and pay $150 for COVID test. And this is where now as Ghana Niba ye take Kuman saying the diaspora no. How does it affect us? How does it affect our pocket? It's Mr. Obaswan Washa my wife, Mr. Wa. And I'm on formal comments, no more questions to Brand. Now you sending in a mom now. Joe, Mr. Tosmame.
Yeah, inti minia ni me kanyina say Ghana for koto aba we no. Ni ombi once and another catch from so ba or the nursing training allowance beba.
That's a way to make Koechika Kramani who
Ghana for can say Ghana for Nanado can say Orban. Or the nursing training allowance beba or the aba. Or kase or the teacher training allowance beba or the aba. Or kase obe solve so wa solve so. Or kase the banking sector na eguno under Mahama ubi kotoni moko no the nisika koto bank or kojia bank ne se men fama nanado buy no wa making sure say banks no juma ama banking sector growth abamu under Mahama health insurance our health sector na eguno nanado buy wa resuscitating ama juma ubi wo cow kramai cow within 30 minutes less than 15-30 minutes na drones the draw if 1 center the alcohol hospital kona edo ko no na ho ato ya to ambulances 307 the ama Ghana hospital district bia will be. These are real free SHS nanado the aba 1.2 million Ghanaians etimienye school omoko free omudidi yemo books yemo fencing registration fee to the exam seat amom DEC for yetiom registration yesan dianidi free real facts I go into nanado sign back no digitization the aba ultimate now computers on know your passport oko ya no akoje ultimate now fee no register business nanado the aba just name them portless clearance papa oko klegus asisi aneko na Mahama figures na Mahama di use with the access ubia o values also to our port nanado atesa figures no so by 50%. Electricity bill nanado ateso water bill nanado they are for almost 6 months. Electricity bill utiano nanado say to 50%. So use more than 50 kilowatt, well use less than 50 kilowatt free. Minia sadi ma we nyina unyuma pa ene bedu echi. Inti Ghana for koto aba based on this real facts. Free one district, one factory,
Joe, before me not better be who make a statement of drones SSN and Rocoman for. Does it even work? Does it exist?
Massa, you're rolling it out. I'm a mianka sanka me call Ghana, me kuhu bia, wa kano, ewo tafo. As I walk one can and I wasn't going, it takes less than 30 minutes. Less than that. Next is funny, yeah, papa, we drone if it was soon a man ask her baby, a one drone about papa, Neddy.
Drone me about, drone was whom no, and one cover the entire nation in now.
Debbie,
and I said,
well, Nanado, I drink a sieno. There was stations and Nanado, sister stations, no, Marco, I think, says so far near your operation, Marco, me and son. You were back was to him, and not serve greater Accra, Easton. I think say voter. You will back where Kumasi and not serve the middle belt. And you back where one north. I serve a serve wino. Into say Mojana here, na say a bini a hospital where and once be making order na pay na center no. allow drone no the moja no ko COVID ba yi kra na ye testing drones no correct me ko che samples ni biba efi baby ko nurses ne doctors for no take it from patient no o take it ya na drone na kofa na the aba center ho edu ane de ko Noguchi.
Yo, I think Sir Christos, I confirm say the drones are working in Ghana. It's no, not betting, right? Not bet. Be machine, not betting.
Into this election is not about propaganda, a real fact.
A real fact, I know. Efi yenya bema na chese yenya bema oye MPP amani ko no gina so communication one of the communications officers Ohio Abuchimemo or saying about 2020 it's not about manifesto, it's about real facts. Now agro so ne form not just a brofono kind of the tree ma catch them or say agro any form sabre yen go tie yenya bema no bet ne hwe ne no bet so ewo e kan e kire yen Ghana for
PK. Now, I have listened so much to Joe. Now, you see, and NPP won. Every time the opportunity is given to NPP to tell Ghanaians they are the first strike you hear, any John Mahama.
And what is wrong with that?
What is wrong with that is the Ghanaian populace won. Let's all agree. I said 2016, John Mahama was not their choice. They had enough of NDC. Okay, let's for once agree. Okay, and now Omu decided say yes, we will vote in NPP. Now what Babetina Akoya so for 4 solid years until date. Even last Omu launch Omu manifesto in August. Do you know John Mahama's name was mentioned over 1,700 times? You had a chance to tell Ghanaians, say na yeba amamu. We went out there to tell Ghanaians, to show Ghanaians our manifesto. And PK, you would not hear any of those communicators on that stage even care about mentioning Akufo-Addo government or even Akufo-Addo himself. Why? Because the people understand, say, we don't have time to go and mention Adia, why are we failing? Ghanaians have eyes to see. When him, Yanko, Okasa Bebre, Oka in some about a year, Jida, Sada, Baz Brandon.
I confirm that.
I confirm no count. As we speak now,
I did not confirm.
If you want to do your checks, you can check with the same journalist who did a confirmed story, and you hear say he himself came out to say that story was wrong after his checks.
How?
Go find out for yourself. Go find out for yourself. It is not. It is
Abuga Pele da prison. Abuga Pele da prison. Osi asamni wrong. Meanwhile, Abuga Pele o prison. No, Abuga Pele o prison.
I confirm the money I got to Manenkasa. Why?
Now, if the story of that was Abuga being in jail because of a confirming quad, then you are being so ingenious with Ghanaians, because you see the spin game of MPP, is just getting old. Mameka Semencho, Abuga Pele, and yet Akufo-Addo in jail, And I want Ghanaians to listen very carefully here. Okay. Or the
before Ghanaians bet you, no. I want you to read this comment for me, please.
Jose,
I want you to read this comment for me. Until I'm there also. I want you to read.
We no longer need MPP and DC. Ghana is dead.
Do you agree?
No, the way a disappointed NDC candidate. Obibia NDC Nibia and why disappointed passes this type of comment.
No. You cannot say that because you don't know the person's.
Yeah,
you don't know the person's background. Don't assume. Don't do that, because the person could even be a floating voter.
No, but before Bebem, no. Joe, do you agree to this comment? Yes or no? Joe, what means?
No. MPP. Na be na mema example yi. Obi buy no the free SHS aba.
Okay.
Sorry. No, but do you agree to this comment before you proceed?
Because I only would agree as say it would be a great option to have a third alternate party in Ghana.
Okay.
I think it's healthy, but I won't say I would agree say we no longer need these. Because let me tell you one thing. Before I lose track.
Because I agree with the person. I agree with them.
what we could do, because it takes a lot.
No.
I won't agree, because you're talking about personalities who are within the political setup. We're talking about gangs. We're talking about mafias. And no one has said, me flag bearer can say we are having some Achim Sakawa people within the presidency.
That is so wrong.
But listen to me. We know for a fact. Let's just throw the cards out there. Okay? I'm a radio. Okay? Let's throw the cards out there. Let's be factual with Ghanaians. Okay? Let's be very factual with Ghanaians. PDS. On Ostati, and I was not going to go on his tangent, but on one hand, if you're talking about scandals, or mention who Abu Gapile, let me correct him. Say Oman Paintia Akoyasno with Timmy I establish a yet private prosecutor. Wafa NDC mean who was vociferous, okay? Who was one time a cabinet minister under Mills. Now ordinance say wo Shagana Hayina Obia Waboko Biano, Nafano Kojo. Now, PK, as we speak now, the man is out saying, he's been heckled. He's not being allowed to work. Then you sit down and you try to compare track records of Ekufado's corruption fight to JM. JM, who was in government and still jailed his own person, Abu Gapile. You see, he who calls for equity must come with clean hands. What is he talking about? PK, what is he talking about? And yet, so if we go back to what Gadel Aka of you Ekaya, I would say, sir, we could have a formation of people, a recycle. It is about time, I said the youth, yourself, myself. We would understand, sir, the two parties are the strongest in Ghana. Whether we agree or we disagree, no, that's factual. It doesn't take 24 hours, it doesn't take 12 months for a new party to emerge and become a third strong opposition party. Until what we do is to gradually channel youthful minds, vibrant minds, people who understand what the people need into these parties. Until PK, as an example, what's number on it? You have the exposure. It's time to go back and inculcate what you have learned in this country. Because you're chanting here, say, oh, we need a third party. And the same Nipanona, they will be in that third party. Back to my point, PK. He was talking about corruption, and you mentioned something very delicate. So I just went.
No, but before I to answer, Joe also had an emergency that he has to go into the maybe. Francis, Francis, Mr. Obama, no off the camera, not my wife. Landscape, your camera, landscape, my wife. Francis.
Yeah, I think I'm good, right?
Your camera, landscape, mommy.
Oh, like this?
Yes, perfect. All right, it's not better to toss my boy.
Me say, Joe mentioned it. I think that after and then NDC best so Akko Guinness Book of Records say on the very first time of debate in manifestos, no MPP the certain government no early substitution where they see that editum into what say and no with the underline say where they are tagging the pan say that yana bra. But anyways.
PK, you shouldn't let that fly. You shouldn't let that fly. No, but
it was just on the side. It was just on the side.
Maybe no, because
maybe.
Maybe no, because maybe we're airport.
No.
I understand.
So, for honestly, no, this debate was supposed to be between Norbert and Francis initially, but Francis too kind. Into the ma. Joe, and I just say, but Joe had an emergency because this was supposed to be done from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Way earlier, yes.
And now because of the captivity, me and at that time.
Agree.
Yes, sir. In this book of records, I say, no, because
it was on the lighter side
because of an emergency.
And yes,
it was on the lighter side.
Just so you know, we start boarding in the next 30 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Norbert there all the time.
Man, Norbert for no see the brain. Why? Norbert for no see quick down brain.
Francis, so Joe made mention as a corruption. He made mention. He said track record. You can't trust John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, used to air COVID-19, okay? If we talk about track record now, COVID by PK, you attest to the fact that infrastructure development, JDM, a man with foresight, a man with vision. OCCAC Honoma, as we speak now, tell me which one hospital are NPP by 4 years, obviously. Which district hospital? Which regional hospital? Even ordinary you can say check compound squad, almost CB. And we are talking about drones. Are we serious? We are talking about drones. COVID-19 time. Because remember, we saw drones which were spraying meaning that now almost spray cockroach. You can say insecticide. So now what should the height of the drones? I was in Ghana then, and you know that. And I was out there researching these things. I was with them. Now it's so laughable. Yes, it's so laughable when you go sit at the Ministry of Information and you ask them these questions. Say, are you serious? You go and spray areas in Tema, Medina with a drone. Now, drone no height. And before say a spray no crime be for me. Now, masa edifici cockroach cry in kuno, kafrempo in kuno. And you tell me, said this much investment, which may see only 3 facilities in the whole Ghana. 3, Mensa.
No. Robert. Every Barry Kwame Apia could be message. I said drones are working. The last center was commissioned by the vice president today at Wale Wale. One is that Amina said yes to whom. So that's 2. One is at Ashanti Mompong. Okay. That's 3. And the 4th one is at Sefiri also. Right. So go to Zipline website and you will see the number of deliveries they have done. As of yesterday, Zipline had made 200,000 deliveries. And you know that again, that is I'm not here to say did I hear or there. I'm not here to say it's true or not true. Yeah. But I'm trying to give you that information.
Kachana say I know. Kachana say one of my own very good friends are in charge of drone implementation so across the country. So I know what's going on. Yeah, but what I'm trying to let's just move past that.
You brought it up, so we can move past that. But
I had to bring it up because you mentioned to say these are things that NPP has done.
No, but me and
No, but you had the time, but no time into the brave now. Or you have all the time to yourself to explain whatever he has to say. Francis,
this is what I this is what I say. At the end of the day, right? Politics, it should benefit the people that we seek to serve.
Correct.
No, but right?
Of course, most definitely.
Okay. And me as a boy that grew up poor in a town called Braffield, say me share on my opinion. Brooklyn, yeah. Me share on my opinion. Any policies are they bad? My question is, how does those policies directly benefit me? And this is what I say. And I think Joe did an incredible job mentioning some of these great policies NPP had about within the last 3.5 years to 4 years. And we share a binding track record none with major policies and a binding to me initiative within the first term of their governance. NPP has done tremendously well within the last 4 years, and it's purely based on policy. Yenshe and Kuala, if it had not been for this free SHS, they might have not had the opportunity to go to secondary school, right? Through this free SHS, we are guaranteeing a future for these kids and leveraging their skills to use them, for the development of the country.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Francis. You came from a poor background, okay? Yeah. But you had an opportunity to go to Infantipe.
Because I had parents who, even though it was hard to come up with the money, right, were willing to, and they could sacrifice maybe selling their clothes, or had sisters who could support my mom and my
So
dad
in that case,
to
There
take
were
me through
scholarship
school.
schemes in those days.
Oh, massa,
no,
massa.
but
Let me make my point.
So in that case, those kids that are enjoying free SHS right now, could have also had the same opportunity of having family sacrifice for them to go to school.
PK.
I'm just throwing it out there.
So we will hear that. And if you have been bothered and called back from Ghana to help pay for a kid's fee, right? A bride kid's fee, because it be a on community. I mean, my sister Penny Medinichi, or your assistant headmistress from Fanzipin, right?
Mm-hmm.
She tells me, say, Francis, this thing is working. Gone with it. Maybe one Fanzipin every term you better exams are. Now my burden was going from housemaster to senior housemaster to get a chit just so I can sit in an examination room and write my exams. Why? Because I hadn't paid my fees. None of the kids have to go through that now. I said, Oko senior housemaster, I go chit adequate exams. Me real school, me real school, my results are bad. I make a my result. Na medical. My sister had to bring money from France. I had to change it, go pay before I could get my own result. This policy, so when you be a who school, right? Who the struggle of not being able to pay your fees, being kicked out of school because you've not paid your fees. And when you be a onima de, but security unto me, uncle school, you might downplay it, right? And like this whole thing about restoring the teacher training allowance and all those things. PK, most reasons why the major reason why people go to teacher training college before they go to university, right, is for a lot of people a stopgap measure, right, to get the skill, get paid something so they can at least kakra answer university, right? So when you take that out, you are cutting out the lifeline to people going to these training colleges. Intermediate, we can infrastructure. My brother Norbert is talking about infrastructure. Yes, Musi E-blocks, 27, right? We've already completed 23 or so, 3 years being in power. Those things are okay. It's good.
They are not just okay. They add up to your free SHS.
I know, but
without
they are good.
How do you get free SHS?
Norbert, they are good. But if you go to every secondary school in this country, the infrastructure that are Memi School in Fanspen, right? Memi School in Fanspen, they have built 2 new dormitories. They are building more than 40 unit classroom blocks. What can you know? And no, it me a E-block. It's not about
Also, they have built. They are complete.
They are there. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Built by who?
Built by this government. Every senior secondary school in Ghana. By this government. Every senior secondary school in Ghana. If you are very solid on the ground, every senior secondary school in Ghana is going.
I am, because I am
is going through. Is having,
if you are saying the government of Ghana has built,
listen, every senior secondary school is having tremendous infrastructure uplift.
Every secondary school in Ghana.
Every secondary school.
Are you being truthful to Ghanaians?
Was it?
Are you being very truthful to Ghanaians?
Yes.
Every secondary school in Ghana.
Yeah. Every secondary school
really
is having some form of infrastructure uplift to help the government eventually phase out.
Uplift or building the project. Which is what?
I mean, if stop the technicalities.
No.
Stop the technicalities.
Let's educate the people rightfully. Let's educate the people rightfully.
What's it?
How do we validate what you're saying right now?
Because it's the truth. It's the truth. The Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education.
It was on the website during
the Ministry of Education
project launch.
The Ministry of Education is undertaking major infrastructure projects in every senior secondary school in Ghana right now. That is the truth, and Norbert can't deny that. It is the truth. For some, maybe bigger projects to say schools like Infantsman, Madesado, Wesley Girls, Holy Child, and these schools that are taking in more people. But every secondary school in Ghana, in some way or form, some shape or form, is having some infrastructure work being done to help us eventually phase out the double track system. Into the media, at the end of the day, politics here to benefit the lives of the people. What the MPP has done over the past 3.5 years to 4 years, the policies that we have put in place has been, or they have all been engineered towards helping the good people of Ghana. And that is the truth. Norbert embo one policy that Ghanaians can say, oh, this policy had a direct benefit to me as a Ghanaian.
Okay, question I'm out. Before maybe answer question. Before I answer a question, I really wanted to make this announcement real quick. Mr. Asher for the Busia for Obaso and Washamai. It's very, very important to say Ode will your friend say Ode questions or contributions in Abeba. Or be a piece of budget medium to be as soon also better whether I really like people are mujina in fin no now met me as such that kind of credit say NDC Moody abro and say MPP Moody abro and say near we so you show when to be the show the baby we show when the next one bus which is the domestic violence in our homes and is if divorce is an option. So right after this one, you do another one about. So don't go too far from your set, Yeah, you're talking about domestic violence and also in my so we are it will say Norbert, answer a question in my idea. So now Francis, am I find out?
Francis has spoken at length, talking from a free SHS. Let me just let Francis look into the eyes of Ghanaians and be honest for once. These schools are all cassette. They are.
But before you ask him a question, he asked you a question. Can you answer before you move on?
He's been. I would answer him, but
answer his question. Go ahead and counter whatever you have to say. No, why? Mm-hmm. So answer his question for him.
One social intervention that benefited Ghanaians directly.
Under ex-President Mahama, that's enough Francis to know. I say, young entrepreneurs were given money and funds to establish various businesses in Ghana under JM. Does he know this? Even as I speak.
Under what project?
Hold on.
Under what project?
Hold on. Even as
under
I
what
speak.
Project? Under what project?
Even as I speak.
No. You shouldn't.
Even as I speak.
No. You shouldn't let that fly.
You shouldn't watch.
You shouldn't let it fly.
Go to the article.
No.
Should I get you the article?
Also, article no.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it for him. It's not gonna fly.
But you have to understand. You have to understand. So whatever you guys are saying, we don't be like, oh yeah, no. People
let this fly
right now.
What I'm saying is, I've mentioned major social intervention projects.
All you've mentioned. What are you talking about?
I've talked about the restoration of teachers training allowance. I've talked about the restoration of nursing training allowance. I've talked about friends saying one district, one factory. I've talked about friends saying New York, NEIP.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Several of these things. Have we not empowered several entrepreneurs to own their own businesses? And it's not even that is not even one of our flagship programs. I'm talking about major policy decisions that we've made that directly you can point to it. Say, say any free SHS I'm going to go school.
The argument is about free SHS.
I'm talking about
policy.
Every government built infrastructure.
No, you
Every
have not
government,
built none in 4 years.
every government built
No.
infrastructure.
The argument here is you
I
have
can
not built
quote
none in
Mahama,
4 years.
and I can
You
quote
haven't built one
Mahama.
district hospital in 4
I
years.
can quote
You haven't
Mahama
built one
4 years
regional hospital
ago.
in 4 years.
I can
You
quote
haven't built
Mahama
one
4 years
school,
ago.
one school in 4 years. So how did you expect your free SHS
I can
to
quote
be very
Mahama 4
valid
years
without
ago
somebody
saying,
being a visionary to put up structures? Tell me.
Maybe you too
yeah,
for
PK,
Francis Casa.
how can you, a friend saying, say, we have not built infrastructure. We have Mahama 4 years ago being quoted. Say anybody
Francis, you're not supposed to take over his time. You just make that.
Anybody who makes that infrastructure argument is being mediocre. That's Mahama quoting. I'm quoting Mahama 4 years ago. So infrastructure is, yeah. I mean, every government built infrastructure. Let's talk policy. Let's talk policy that directly benefits the Ghanaian people that you can point to.
Okay,
Francis said that's it.
Okay. Okay. I speak to facts. If you have your phone, I will shoot you the link so that Etiefo would be also honored, and then we can serve the purpose. What I have here.
Where you had it from?
Yes, this is Ghana Web, and this. Oh, I mean, clearly, PK. It says clearly here, applicants of Youth Enterprise Support Fund have applauded the president for the introduction of YES. This is a fund that, PK, under this 10 million seed fund was granted to youth, young entrepreneurs. Ghana Web. This is dated Sunday, 15th March 2015.
Okay, because I need you to cite it properly. So now, yes,
dated Sunday, Francis Tobias, because you asked me to tell you one policy.
Yeah.
Francis needs to understand.
So that's it. So that's is that your
you said
flagship policy?
One. You asked me for
one.
Your
flagship policy?
You asked me for one. You asked me for one, Francis. So I have given you one. I want you to understand. Say, what the Obi Eco School, no free school. Nasa Obafie na oni ejuma ya. You have granted them nothing. Mamenka Asemencho. Ghana, we are currently, as we speak, really graduating so many unemployed youth. It's for a president to be a visionary and understand, say, youth, no, you were young ones who are brainy, skilled, talented, who need a push from government to start up businesses. Now there's a fund set up for this purpose. I'm telling you, say, every government decides what is best for the people. I would not sit here and be so disingenuous and say free SHS is not a good policy. I'll be a liar. Because I am here to speak for the masses in Ghana and to make sure say what we do as politicians affect their lives. Free SHS was brilliant, no two ways about that. And you, Francis, will be very truthful to Ghana and say, at every interview that ex-President John Mahama had, and he was quizzed about free SHS, he said it clearly. It's even within our 92 constitution.
It's false. In there. Yeah, it's false.
It's not false. He said, it's false, I quote.
It's false.
I quote. Ex-President John Dramani Mahama.
Come on, man. It's false.
Francis, you can argue all you want. Francis, listen to me. I can get you articles because I did my statement on
it.
Don't let untruth fly. Don't let untruth fly. Don't let untruth fly.
I say Ghanaians need.
Okay, listen to me. Okay, listen to me very carefully. Whether it's false or not, right? Say, man, can I say? Ashefonu are very well discerning. Don't make the judgment for themselves. People that are watching us know even know more than they even know more than me. So whether what he's saying is false or not, just let him finish his point. Then you have your time and you talk. Don't bet to talk.
So Okase, it's false. It's false. Again, I will quote you. City FM Online, 5 years ago. Okay. This is dated a year right here, PK. Again, I will send it to you. Okay, for clarity. Mahama to launch progressive free SHS policy today. This is the date. It was This article was September 17, 2015. I'm telling you, say at every point in time, no, every government, there is what we call what the people need at a point in time. It was and it's in the Constitution of Ghana say as time goes on.
You said nothing, no. You said nothing. You said Muhammad to launch free SHS, but you finished.
No.
Okay, Bisane said.
BK, listen to me.
Mr. Norbert says, "I progressively free SHS now account." When they left power, 36 million Ghana cities a Canada down. Did they commit even one city to that progressively free SHS policy? Bisano.
Francis. You were arguing a second ago about the fact say JDM does not support free SHS. I have clearly shown you here. It's like now you're jumping guns. Is the argument here say free SHS? No, we never liked it.
You guys. We are currently telling Ghanaians. You guys always.
We are currently telling Ghanaians
that the best path
we will
is
review this
progressively
free SHS.
free.
Let me explain to you what we will review.
You guys don't get it.
Winim, you came from a very, very poor background. Because this free SHS was not well thought of, and it was just a rush in implementing it. You know, said there are people who are well-to-do who are currently taking advantage of this free SHS. And as I speak now, Francis, if you will be true to your own conscience, there are people who really deserve to be in some of these best schools and others who can afford to pay, but they are capitalizing on this free SHS. So if the right measures,
so how do you fix that?
So how do you fix that? Francis Meba.
How do you fix that?
Francis Meba. Norbert, are you saying it would have been better said free SHS no? You have come out here for no. Now come on, make me turn around to one call. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, even those who can afford more than 50 off import, it saves the country a lot of money.
How do you determine who can afford? How do you determine
is like Teteno Nanado, the president of Ghana. He went to school for free. Do you know that? John Dramani Mahama, he went to school for free. You know that? Through scholarship schemes.
This is what I'm saying.
It could have been.
Not bet me about. This is what I'm saying. I feel say hypocrite so togum sebi. Our politicians for baby it's presumed say we won't help sikane they want to amass wealth. It's a hypocrite so togum na me motivate ya na buy so betia for free ya. Me make just motivate ya.
Because PK, the point is this:
at the expense of the ordinary taxpayer, that is not fair. Because even Komo Hampo PK,
there's nothing fair politics. There's nothing fair.
No.
PK,
this is not about politics. This is about saving the national coffers. This is about being able to have funds left. Do you know where this free SHS funds are free? Let me tell you where it's coming from. The funding of this free SHS, or not Francis now, if you be truthful to every Ghanaian, you will know that this free SHS is coming from this same government here, I said the taxes that John Dramani Mahama was too much. No, same government I said young NDC when we're in power. No, we were loaning out contracts, going for loans to utilize in just building infrastructure. No, the same government buy oil revenues is what they use for this free SHS. Now, as we speak now, no, there's no money to put up school structures because you know what? There is no funds there for this government to go and tap in. NDC Rollins time. Rollins set up what we call Get Fund, PK. Okay? Get Fund, no.
Yeah, I'm starting to board right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fine.
I'm starting to board.
I'll say about board this is one question or answer question, uncle.
Francis.
Yes, sir.
Out of your constitution, your own manifesto. Okay, tell Ghanaians, say, even in the entertainment sector, we see theaters, and now no theater even till now, no communicators be fumbling across Ghana now. Tell Ghanaians, a day important in 4 years, you've not been able to put up no genuine infrastructures, and now you are walking around taking pictures of boreholes and all
no,
that.
But you see, and that is this question you asked is from so much of. I mean, you've been in politics, so you should know. You can't claim that this government hasn't built any infrastructure. It makes no sense for you to claim that.
What has been built?
And so, if you go to more e-blocks, we have completed 23 of them. But that's 23. We've completed 23 of them. But that's my point. It is mediocre.
No.
Every government
if you completed
built,
it, that doesn't mean you did not secure the funding for it.
What funding? What funding, man?
E-blocks now what's the what we put up?
Meba, hold on.
Are you trying to now credit yourself those e-blocks also?
You know politics say a buying any who beba or because on your infrastructure. That is easy. That is easy.
If it's easy, how haven't you been able to build one district hospital?
Me answer me school. Me alma mater. And fancy, if you go there, several infrastructure is being built. Several of them. A new house, two new houses.
But you see Rihanna.
What's it?
You see Rihanna.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And none of those were captured during the launch.
No, but don't you see these?
I just left Ghana in July.
But you see, no, but don't let us.
What is the infrastructure? Even with COVID by. No. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Even with COVID by.
But Francis, okay. Government has the point. Or sister, we are show boys. What I say?
No. Haven't you seen
come on, Francis.
The many friends and project schools are commissioned? Haven't you seen
them? During the launch by the vice president, Ghanaians watched it. We watched it on Facebook. The things we saw na ye catch on. Boreholes na ye. KVIPs na ye. It is infrastructure structures have been built. These are from all students.
How do you
sit down and just credit this?
How do you capture?
The MPP government. Echo Jira Hokan said building be they put up quickly and a Rotary Club for buy. To defuse the situation and say it's not their building.
No, but
you cannot do that.
No, but
you cannot be so disingenuous to Ghanaians like
you
that.
can.
Come on, Francis.
You can continue to engage in mediocre argument about infrastructure. We are thinking big. We are tackling. We are tackling big policies that directly affect the people of Ghana. You can build friends
then we go again on policies.
No, what I'm saying, you can build interchanges, but how does she benefit from that interchange? But at least Sakwala will fear we school. Saying free SHS and go on to me and call secondary school. Some ameno or no son to me Kobe. It used to be say, kids from certain places was very hard for them to go to Infantspen. Now with this double track, kids with aggregate 18 are able to make it in Infantspen. And before you question, kids get 18 not because of Omuni Madiu. Some kids learn with lantern.
Resources.
Exactly. I'm telling you, Mimi Conference, there are kids that came there with aggregate 9.
Oh, that's how crowded. Who did 19, 20 in the car?
Mimi Conference, there are kids that came there with aggregate 9. School. Some of those students were our best students.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were able to, they struggled their way to get to Infantspen. Into Omoba, now you provide for them the same platform they perform. Into you can continue to engage in infrastructure. Who has built, the most classrooms and all those. We are thinking big. We are going bigger. We're not going to engage you in those mediocre arguments. Let's
are those fake softwares that you are designing? Fake software we're designing and copy software that it can
envision a Ghana that benefits.
Are those the big
everybody.
things you are doing? Drones now a flyer, a spray COVID-19 spray now, and no Andrew from the
No, but
those the big things you guys are doing.
You can continue to do that. You can continue to heckle me.
But my point is, I'm not heckling you.
You guys had 4 years to rule
I'm asking
Ghana.
you, sir, where's the infrastructure you're building?
You guys had 4 years to rule Ghana.
You asked me for a policy, I delivered.
You guys
asked me
had
to
4
name
years.
one policy, I told you. So if I'm asking you, sir, where's the infrastructure? Now can you say Fantapen buildings? And you can't point one. And your vice president did a launching to show Ghanaians all the things they have done. And he could not highlight and show cameras for her. Now when you Fantapen building are completed, they come on Francis. Between you and your vice president, who's been honest?
Talking about infrastructure, talking about creating a.
That's my argument. Just tell Ghanaians this. Between when the vice president, which one was a priority to him? A school building that's completed, or a rotary building? That's not theirs.
Do one thing,
serious. Also conference spam. You said it yourself. What other buy you? What's so conference spam? Now you see classroom blocks for fair make say. Few weeks ago, Vice President Ebel launched a project MPP government are building. Or launch and you who fan spam building back compo. Then how can you come and tell us now as a communicator?
I got it.
Love it. Francis, Francis.
You know what? No, but I'll really like us to meet again. But my time has you know that I'll reach out later. Why, PK?
What's it? I tell you, that's the your Francis near Cardano. No, bet Yanko. Maybe you took up why are they? Okay, no, but let's start with this question, right? In your bema, it's Nanaya, Amo Dompre, aka Fadabakus. Fadabakus seems to say, you really think voters will vote based on the manifesto? Both parties have been deceiving the masses for far too long. They have been recycling their manifestos every election year. What do you take of that? And I totally agree with him.
Ernest, Michelle, thanks for this insightful question. If voters voted in 2012 based on a manifesto, voters voted in 2016 because of a mantra that was placed in an NPP manifesto saying free SHS, and they still voted that. I don't think that those same voters have changed their minds overnight to say they will not vote based on a manifesto, because this time the difference is this manifesto that was drafted by us, the NDC, was drafted through consultation with the regular people, the ordinary Ghanaian, the person on the streets, the person that's hustling at Abosiokai, who was scared to near death. So Tessa Anka October, you be banning a spare parts. You be banning a casa a 10 years. You be banning salvage cars. And then out of a U-turn, because JDM, NDC decided to say the best manifesto will say, we are going to abolish that. We will not put tax on it. You cry, you best sign so I'm a free importation on every public transport. What do trust or bar? Because you see your moon to MPP who you pay overnight. They say, hey, savage cars when you can October draw, you try sign, you train, you go to Abani, you never say Ghana for a trauma. I'm to my area and a bit trouble. I mean, you cannot take Ghanaians for a ride like that. One thing I would want Ghanaians to understand is that JDM was a man of his word. Obekaya, earlier on, Bema, Eka Bibi said, JDM, yes say. And I was like, listen, if he was even able to put somebody who messed with public funds into jail, that is the kind of person I would find credible to vote for. Because on one who nipa, we are now what you can give him up. Because so baby yadi na say police name ban say God forbid na say Branian question on point because then you protect your own meboa. And we've seen this tendency, this tenet of a man who was able to say, let the law take its course. If you misappropriate funds, if you have to go, you will go. This is the same person that Piquet or this idea in his wisdom. I said Ghana for the necessary training allowance, but at the same time, Australia Ghanaians need more infrastructure. Some of those were hospitals. On your vision, who say, "Hey, be a dachi bino Ghana for BB bet Messi." So you can call Mahama a prophet, but and then this government cannot say and stand anywhere and not give credit. Say, and your hospitals, any clinics, any electric compounds will see and COVID by it. You're funny. Okay, anything. So if this man was able to boldly say, even if it cost me my presidency, and I coach you, We've heard this before. Or see, if it cost me my presidency, nursing training allowance, me to name church. That is a man of precision. PK. Bema or say no. Some of the Bema
I mean, announcement I real quick, Pacho. I should for so share your YouTube and I say Facebook CCR. Link in number there. If you want to join the studio and also ask questions, those will be one more. They don't like the type and they really want to voice out their questions. Don't click on the link and can only take 9 people at a time. Into those first 9 we don't be rested and then we just go on with it. Then they'll ask anybody questions. Also, we have any MPP person who wants to speak on behalf of the MPP. Since MPP for now, I follow up due to emergencies. Nah, that's fine. They didn't follow because they say they're scared of Norbert and Norbert. How Norbert feels. That's not what it is. It's due to the fact that the show started a little bit later than we thought. Into the Norbert Toswami. No, but before Bet Toswami, right?
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna comment name there. I'll say free SHS is good, but is good policy, but there is but. Ghanaians are behind the truth about this SHS. Look, it's being operated in 10-year loan, and people only be empowered to sustain it for 8 years. And this will take over, and after 2 years, the loan period will be terminated. At that time, Ghana can't renew the contract because Ghana has not finished the payment. You see, Ghana will be experiencing. And this is what I mean by politicians are really taking Ghanaians for a ride. And that is what it is. Then we go on to Gadel. Gadel comes back to say, oh, no, sorry, Dr. Michael Fell's question say, let's not seek the political parties' answers. At the end of the day, are the political parties' policies moving Ghana to a phase of developmental progress and not say developmental change? And that is a legitimate question. I think say we should be looking at if Ghana for both NPP and NDC needs to stay serious with this politics. No, Benjamin Bredechin, the days of those days are over. Right now, everybody's descending. People are doing research for themselves. I can put up a camera to myself, and I remember my team no Ghana. No, I can for camera, and it'll go to the grounds and see if this really happened or not. Back then, like that, on your media, you don't get to go choose, and you don't get to go follow up on what politicians do say. And this is the time now. I think say you NDC and NPP, you guys need to step back a little bit. No more, Ghana for one almost it's your mentality. When you feel honor, Boba Benwa, oh, opposition area, almost also by Bemuswa. Those kind of justify in every little point. It's enough. We've had enough of that. So excuse me. Enough of that nonsense, because I think you guys are taking us for a ride, and it's about time. Now, my question to you is, JM, why 4 years? What are you coming back for? What are you coming back for? And NDC, you guys don't have anybody else to offer? Say, because maybe they say when you go, maybe you're a soccer player, right? If I'm playing on the team, that's a coach not in a court tournaments last year, and we'll lose here. Why should you come back again the following 4 years? It doesn't make sense. Continue.
Good question you've asked. And I would address that well and make sure to break it down. From the soccer aspect, the ball, okay? Tournaments are not won in a day, and you know that. So in sports, if you go and you fail and you say because of that you want to change your coach, then you are not a good manager of the team. Because you need coherence. You need cohesion with your team and your players. And you need to understand that the players will have to gel. And with time, they would understand that terrain and win you the laurel you want. Let's come to JDM. 4 years ago, implementation and strategies that the NDC had, he picked from Professor Kamels, Ejumara, may so rest in peace. There were things, there were policies, there were goals that NDC had to achieve at that particular time under Professor Kamels. JDM came and picked up from that. Ghanaians were complaining at the time. The complaints we heard, Ebine said, dollar rates no air kosro. JDM left Ghana when the dollar rate was like what, 4 something. And then here before COVID, dollar rate was almost at 6.
But see, this is why I have a problem with you. No, before if you power not dollar rate you're saying.
When he was leaving, it was 3 something.
No, that's not true. No. He left power for 1 for 1. 1 for 1.
No. He didn't leave with 1 for 1. You can do your checks right now. He didn't leave with 1 for 1 because we went to EPIC, and that was when we sustained 1 for 1. That 1 for 1 did not last us.
2004. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
Kufuor left 2008.
Go and check the dollar rate in 2008. Whilst I'm talking, do those checks. Tell Ghanaians. Whilst I'm talking, just do those checks for yourself, okay? Kufuor never left Ghana 1 for 1. It's not true. It's not true. That's the perception that Ghanaians have. What I was trying to let you know, they said JDM about 4 years now. Okay, the things that this man did for Ghana, if you're being truthful and honest, would have realized that when he kept talking about free SHS is a good policy, but it needs to be done progressively. Ghanaians misunderstood the man. No one in NDC will sit and say free SHS no. And no communicator, no executive.
Well, let's move on because of our time factor, right? And let's
no, we can't move on real quick.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. Right?
One of your viewers mentioned something that was
what was it?
He mentioned, the loan is for 10 years. Let me explain where the loan is coming from, because it's good we educate the people.
No.
It's good.
Metiasio, right?
No, but ordinary Ghanaian doesn't know. PK, if this is supposed to be a right and be informative, PK, we need to understand, this loan.
Go ahead.
Good. Ghana had what we call Get Fund. This was established back NDC under Rawlings regime. This Get Fund was established. He left it in the hands of Kufuor. Kufuor came, he used part of the Get Fund, and he left it for Mills. Mills came, left it for JDM. JDM came, Mahama came, left the Get Fund there, untouched, never mortgaged it, never used it against a loan, and left it for Nanado. Nanado, in his wisdom, after taking the oil revenues in Ghana, decided to Get Fund. And for listeners who don't know what a Get Fund is, let me educate people a little bit. Because when you buy something in Ghana, what to be 2.5% on your valid added tax na journal. Because that funds you the money a school for education. SAB school roofing, SAR, government can tap into that funding and use it to build. So school here be a textbook. So this is where the government can go in and just grab that money and use. In the wisdom, let's agree, say ABA, MPP and another were so wiser than any of these leaders in Ghana, from Jerry, who established it, Kufuor, Mills, Mahama. In the wisdom of MPP, and in the rush to achieve an agenda which will only last for 10 years. 10 years, so let's even assume, say, you would last 8 years. The other 2 years, they decided to leave the Get Fund and take it against the loan from the Chinese government. As we speak, 60% of the Get Fund goes to the Chinese government. PK, Ghana government only is left with 40%. And we are paying interest on that loan for 10 years. So to educate the people, like Ejina Hosea and a free SHS, it is therefore a loan we can never pay. Ghana and Chia loan be another in 10 years. And that's why recently, John Mahama Jan Baby can say, if you look at the age span of Sebe, Obia, compared to him, that's a OG loans, not OG loans, sir. You will not repay before you leave the term. People just misconstrued it and just twisted the whole thing. But what he was trying to educate the youth, I want to say opinion be ebe tina abaimu na OG loans or the Get Fund ekusiawawa G loan wa China for honum. Ye ni hana yati se Rwanda for yesizi Rwanda for airport because of loan na entry na PK. Until when we're gonna be able to pay this loan up, now 10 years no so, now you a loan in what happens to FSHS? Now that's where the spin comes in, because by then, no, that's a ABI, it is NDC that is now in power. Now MPP will come and tell Ghanaians and say, yeah, can't and they've not been able to sustain the FSHS. And the Ghanaian who is not being educated today to understand, say, FSHS, no, and so you sabe.
Okay, no, but answer question. Will the NDC review the S-graduate policy if voted into power? If truly you love Ghana, you should be able to work for Ghana without the S-graduate. What do you think of that?
It is very laudable. And I, for one, even some MPs have been calling for this. I believe, sir, it is something that would need to first go to Parliament and it has to be reviewed by PK. You would, and also attest to the fact, sir, even though parliamentarians, no, both faces, no MPP, no NDC, no, when it comes to things that pertain parliamentarians, they always agree. So yes, it is laudable, but it can only be effective if this goes through a national referendum. That is my personal point of view. This is not my party's position. I think, I say, even if we can even cut down with minister size, then ex gratia could also be looked at, because minister size is causing Ghana to bleed a lot. If we can cut down on ministry appointments, ministries. Minister Job mentioned the Dambutri in charge of Minister of regional where you can say reshuffle no day, Metibi Krada. Region so you reshuffle and now what is his role? You are paying somebody to feel like vacuum for no job done. This is what we're talking about here. Money is being paid. Now the deputy is crying. You go to his ministry. No clerks, no then omukra so A4 sheet mukeke amano honorable. This is waste of the taxpayers' money. This is what we're talking about. We have to save the Ghanaian. We have to save the ordinary taxpayer. If we could save that much money now, Ankasebe enyo who say we wouldn't need to scrap a salvage cars, because Volkswagen Abba C plant. And ask yourself, the average Ghanaian can afford to buy a brand new Volkswagen in the current Ghanaian situation, in the current Ghanaian economy. Ghana find a bit matter. So we can sit down and assume, say, oh, because Volkswagen Abba, let's make the person at Abosio can bleed. Because Volkswagen Abba, let's make Boga Wonemia Yawahana. Sebi, you want your auction license, Kakabia, we can buy from Copat, we can buy from IA, we can send maybe a car, maybe 1,000 to Yato, and then Yaji a bumper and Obi Begi, Yanu Biane Kakrebi, a mechanic binso or Ebi a Kokompe, or no Subenya Kakrebi at the action number. You be here for Nippanisan because you're the big chia, Ebi a minister of Zongo, minister of say, how you can embed these ministries into local government. Is that what we're telling Ghanaians? So
I think I totally agree to the fact say this whole ex gratia thing must be taken away.
It should be
because when we then say
it should be national. Say parliament it will not hold.
Maybe not it. If anything, right? Yekrapa is serving in the military, right? We only have one time retirement. Okay.
Right.
Okay, if ex gratia was supposed to be like that in the military now, then all I'm gonna be saying is okay, so they tell you every 4 years when I do the contract, every 4 years, I should say another money with like a reenlistment bonus. What's I make
right.
What's I make and at the end of the day, the people are looking into the comfort of the country. That's I will say, because of many years, the over sumia. I didn't every 4 years be a yebosika. Now, Kona Sababu, Nasababu says, can you? It will be honorable in Japan, what transfer 16 years, about 4 times, right? How much ex gratia Papa? Does it even make sense at all? Why are we wasting money at the wrong place? Bro, be that kolebu, no oxygen cramano, no fanya. Why? Why is it that way?
Because that is why
country.
That is why in the beginning I had mentioned let's just move from NDC and PP here, because this is just me and you 101. As a youth of Ghana, if I have to be very candid with you, Ghana has gotten to a point where we need what we call a national agenda. What we need consultation with people agreeing, say, to see you better draft a book way. Say aban we ubo, upel, wumpel. This is what Ghanaians want you to do. Okay, Maji loan for 10 years, mostly free SHS. Mwana mokoji the mobile biana 10 years no a drew we bet you loan back. And now you enjoy your free SHS until that kingdom come. Monya mayen. I know you're number 1. Number 2, you see a free primary health care. More make sure I say, okay, free primary health care no more yama Ghana for. We need good roads, we need good water, we need to have affordable housing. We need to ensure a youth no free, yes, even SHS Krana, there are some warehouses they can work. Even warehouses no Krana, even if they can tomatoes or sugarcane or this Krana, they can do these jobs for a few months before they go to the universities if they want to. Those that don't want to can still work there and make some money. PK, until the youth of Ghana understands that we need to draft a national agenda and decide, I said that national agenda will be something that you and I will agree, say, when I whether NPP, whether CPP, whether NDC, whether if you are on court whatsoever, you come. And know that some time back, Jerry Rawlings in one of his speeches said, until we decide as Ghanaians to place policies down, that even if we the bonsam kwa ebetna akoyono so he has no option but to do the will of the people. Ghana has gotten to that stage, PK. This is the language, this is what we should be telling Ghanaians out there. As you drew a timer, and your lawyers be and your doctors be a beam. I drafted manifesto, a catcher, a cultural center, was ABC, a cultural center of Kumasi. Was ABC cinema, your BC National Theatre, 5, Baku, Eastern Region, Baku, Northern Region. You ask yourself, sir, how much revenue can that give the Ghanaian? You ask yourself, so how many shows can we host there? I saw manifesto no one man because I was hoping said Joe, and you know the news said their manifesto is just full of laughables. Where the can say we see ultra modern where you can say obviously ultra modern theaters you can say concert place for shows in Ghana. Now you ask yourself, say you have return cry, you shows no cry no shows no you used to stadium in Fanya. Now and then you can see BC National Cathedral. As we speak in the National Cathedral, the Catholic saw COVID-19 we ought to understand so we need a national agenda. And the national agenda should entail priorities of the ordinary Ghanaian. Some of those priorities are jobs, healthcare, food, being on the table of the ordinary person. And again, education should be key. So not even these 4 policies now is drafted and it goes through a whole referendum near the seat and you are mandated as any government will buy. These are the main 4 things I will buy over you. What you before say what should their party person mo yeden we magana for until we get there no PK. Unfortunately, no. Okay, my make how the cycle will be.
Until we get there, no ebusia for me the link that one into the Mr. One mobile so first now meant to me and click it was I think I was busy listening to it. Click a link in this one, you'll be able to me the link in the sort to go beyond. We'll click a link in this one, you'll be able to have access to join the chat and also share your views and opinion as much as possible. It's also say right after this show, we're going to talk about domestic violence in our homes and if divorce is an option. Okay, because there's a lot of domestic violence going on. Abusing abusing man. So we'll talk about that, especially those of us in the diaspora, how this can actually impact and affect our livelihood. So we're gonna go into that right after this show, and we have about 8 minutes to wrap up the show. It's the link number that one, Mr. So I hope I said or joining us, I will share with views because most people like to share their views vocally, and I say verbally. Into the link number that if you click on it, just allow your camera and microphone is easy access, and I'll just add it to the chat. All right, Norbert, if Big Sam Hobby and I say PK talking military, because now military couple we not even getting this gratia. We are not getting every 4 years. You're not making money now.
Well, honestly, I know that it's
I got now first the Parliament House. John Domelo, no, I got that Parliament House now every 4 years. Or now Zio Ebe correcting me says even 20 years, not even 16 years when it comes to Canada, Japan. I thought he was going his 5th time. It's an Onyendu 20 years there. And again, I stand to be corrected. Let's go ahead and continue with the American government. I say American government doesn't build companies, so bro, you can go and build one. Why?
Okay. Said that was not the argument being made. The point being made is you can strengthen the private sector. You can make the whole economy.
That's a beautiful point I really like. You see, this is the type of NDC people that we like. We don't like the Norbert type of NDC and the Francis type of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we like this type of NDC. What I say, the NDC, we. Oh, okay, it was a question. I thought it was a question. NDC. Okay, sorry, no, New Debt. My mama knew that political party by phone. So it was actually a question for you. I see NDC. Are we still going to maintain? Well, when he said, "Are we now?" I want to presume say he's also NDC personnel. Are we still going to maintain Martin Aminu? Is it Aminu and Amidu? Amidu, that's what I thought. A special prosecutor. And I said, and when we come to power, what do you think, Norbert? Can you continue? Now, some you continue.
Okay, I think it went through Parliament. Okay, first of all, he was vetted into his office as special prosecutor. I think President Mahama might
ex-President
Mahama might, after deep consultations, decide, because he had mentioned, once we take over office.
Okay. He said it's NDC, so that makes sense. Go ahead.
I
like the type of NDC.
Once he takes over, he's gonna make sure there's Operation Sting, something that I would say that President Akufo-Addo had mentioned back then.
No.
You diverted. No, I'm not diverted. I'm going there.
Hold on. I didn't ask you. Say, is that office going to maintain you? I didn't ask you that. Are you going to maintain Martin Amidu? And that's the way we are Chief Justice.
No. And I was explaining to you. I said, even in our manifesto, we have it in there. Said there's an Operation Sting that is going to take higher premise once we take over office. The Operation Sting would mean, any person who is out there to fight corruption, we cannot oust you. That means, we will not by force kick out Auditor General because we perceive, the man or ever. So we're going to kick him out, by force, going to take a leave because it looks like this man is not going to make some contracts go through. We are not going to say because Martin Amidu. Now, who would come and even say Martin Amidu, who we know as an NDC person, to just come and victimize him? NDC has never been known for victimizing people, not business people, not people in high office who are doing the right thing. So if Martin Amidu is doing the right thing, I don't see, even the party as a whole, the government in power, which will be NDC, inshallah, God willing, come January 2021, we will not come into office and say, Martin Amidu, and I say by force, it went through a constitutional rule. So due process needs to be effected. There, Yana said, Onipa, or didn't see honor, and then be see her as a figurehead without him being able to work because his hands are tied.
Okay.
Because Sebe, as we speak now, Onoankasano cannot even get dockets on his table. He cannot even get the manpower to do investigation for him. And when he gets his findings,
just disrespectful to say
no. But the fact of the matter still remains, he himself has come out. I can send you articles. He has spoken, he is not being allowed to work. Martin Amidu himself has spoken. And it's a record. Or see, he's not being allowed to work. Or see, the things he's requesting government is not provided. Or see, he is not being allowed to work because the Attorney General is not allowing him to operate. When he sends dockets over to be looked into, it's not sent back to him. Now, how do you pick somebody who is a non-NDC? Say, we'll be a special prosecutor. Now, as we speak now, we're not here in a PPA boss. On one can sign a contract, on one sign a company, or fast
Okay. Okay, yeah, campaign. Internal, yeah, because so now for final words, mind, yeah,
final words, listen.
Before your final words, baby, some dash your phone, say, besides what Camo said, and my mom right after this, Norbert is still gonna be on for the different conversation, which is about domestic violence. It's Norbert, I was Shabatakari here, and I urge him some questions on the Batakari whilst we talk about domestic violence right after this show. And we're gonna leave and come back and talk about domestic violence because domestic violence has been on the rampant, and as an advocate on himself, Norbert has been actually talking against it on the social media platforms and stuff. And I think he's only doing me right. I like Norbert when he's not talking about politics. I love him so much when he's not talking about politics. But he knows, sir, personally, I'll go to his inbox and I'll bash him.
Oh, you bash me all day.
Yes. And that's what I love about him. He also loves about me. And when also the MPP is also doing something wrong now, I also go over there and I tell him, when it's propaganda, I let him know it's propaganda. When it's real, and I must be honest, you've been real most of the times. You've been real with your posters. Oh, yeah, okay, in the CDB cry. Obe posti, I didn't young kwao MPP for home kwao. But I've seen you posted, I didn't know NDC for so that. And I've seen you posted, I did yes or MPP for so that. So that's what
people don't know. You know what's funny? Most people don't know, but I just want to let people who followed me back then before Facebook shut me down prior to 2016 elections. I was one of the few people who always brought out facts when JDM was in power, and I spoke the facts as they are. It's a bit sad. So most people did not understand me because I am NDC. So maybe I said they just wanted me to say high things a bit, but the fact still remains to say, if you are a youth of Ghana, not wodom amanyoko NDC or NPP. Now, like we're looking at right now, loans are being taken for 10 years. Yeah, papa more in government. Yeah, maybe
we'll find out.
Now, Omono.
I didn't know politics. There's no opportunity to give you more campaign.
Oh, Dabi,
I will not allow you to speak. We'll find out.
Ghana 40 years as youth, no.
We'll find out.
All right. My final words, say. First of all, I mean that my chapter chairman I say, or someone in it. But then I say any my chapter executive in Ohio. Madam I say. I feel so. Me pese me da me aminua madam for pa minister by now and also or share all the way from Ghana. Na minua Mordecai of APC General Secretary, minister or share at this time. Na yambi traso and say going ahead of election 2020 no. And it's sad that most people are saying, I say, we are not going to vote on manifestos. I feel there, you know, what is good for the geese is now no longer good for the gander because there's threats, as in the kind of manifesto that the NDC decided to bring out. The manifesto from the people and of the people. The manifesto that speaks volumes of what the people want. For the first time in history, in Ghana and in the world, the manifesto is drafted by people's inputs. For the first time, manifesto I draft here, a certain government, Eddie Ahupo, Eddie America too, and then Nama Kati sword because Sebi ye church Ghana for any so dear ye be ye church Ghana in for some more Kaise ye bida, and your mom with facts, your mom with evidence, your mom with websites.
What's that? Nazio is even helping you out. Also, your campaign, that can same for say can't wear the neck on the
Oh, Dabi, me. Kind of just like that because the final words to say even as a Ghanaian youth let's go out there if we are in Ghana. Now obi catch us say we see school block or if antipema. So they wouldn't see kakra would be froka if you are I call a year Cape Costa. Me I'm driving my car at the Wako because I'll be in Ghana. Me to car the Wako. Now what would be say all students union see school dino. And now say a kufodo a bang and a year Matthew Opoku Prempe, Minister of Education is see. Now your man look and dead because Sabi Ghana phone you try in conto poache. This is the time that the truth needs to be told and the Ghanaian will need to vote based on facts.
Yeah, that's it. Bennett any attendant canon. He has been a very good and friend and also a member of the NDC party. I still don't like him for that part, because under the NDC we take it now. The cats I didn't call you. And also, yes, I saw you Francis. It was Sidonko, also a very good friend, a very good brother. I love him to death, but the moment he started to speak for MPP, now I say Kobono, I say, and I Joe Febusu, and so yeah, that's the same about jubilation. Did with the money come on. I should find the money. I say. Money you did with the money here for money here come on. Miss Shamo, within the next 10-15 minutes, we're gonna come back with our second show, which is gonna be more of your friend is saying domestic violence and if divorce is an option. So like messages the text message concerning people sharing their life experience about this domestic violence now. We can't the 20 so and
wow.
Yeah, I'll say the 20 so and people among for a wrestle. And this is somebody I really know. Meaning say we jai, but not mean say now I know jai no quite of us with the jai. So you see that stigmatization and what we Christopher no they see Christopher near trust near and also no be like okay so this say but what we're gonna do in this show we're gonna look into different angles when we come back and to talk about the show. And to know, I had a did see now. The best also Abbasisia, Mr. Women, that we feed into baby. For social HIT, also for HIPK, Macramo, the best bye bye.